yes, we've got to cover all those order details that they would want to have in there. Yep.
Yeah, okay.
But I think we can leave, that to the 1.2. When we launch AP, then we have those fields available. So I don't know. We might, if we don't, we're not going to have them at MNP, but it's just a field, right? To be honest, I mean, it's just a order entry. It's just an order details field, isn't it? Doesn't matter.
Yeah, the only thing at the moment is like PathLab actually have that query file from AP, and I'm just thinking if we're getting rid of that. So ideally you want to use so AP output all the specimen types into a query file, which is then put onto Unix, which is then loaded up into Delphic Reg. So they select the right specimen type when they do the registration. I can send you a screenshot. They're the only ones that do it. So yeah, perhaps we just, but if we can do it at AP.
Yeah, let's.
I was going to talk about it when we demo it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Right, carry on.
Okay. Yeah. So after the generalist, they finish the core form. So the form would be going to the recept screen in here. So this screen would be exactly like what we have in the list view, or maybe really alike with the auditing screen. So we will have a list of the pending request, and then the user can select the request by clicking, double click to the request row in here to go into go into checking the form by details again. So this screen could be exactly the same like we have in the histology form that I just showed you guys. But in here, in the receipts screen, we will have a table of the pending list, and maybe we have the request type like surgery, or the ID of the request, and source, because in the workflow 2 we have the form coming from the Delphic LS, but the workflow 3 it could be electronic order. So I put the source with 2 kind of source in here. Urgency, status, which is ITIP or achieve. So for example, a order in 2 weeks, it could consider achieve. So I put achieve in here. Patient name, patient ID, date requested. So for the function of this page, we have a filter. The user can save the filter preset. They can select the date, select the request type, source, or status. The other function would be exactly the same like we have in the auditing and the list view, which is add filter, save filter, and clear. So I have a question in here. So do you think that we should have the function to mark a request or a batch of requests as achieved, and like revert that kind of status?
Yeah, so at the moment, we are developing this in AP, and it's going to be automatic at the moment. So I think we should just replicate that. So it'll be configuration of when something moves to archived. So yeah, I think we leave that as a configuration. They can't do that manually. If we need to bring that in the future, we can. So what we were trying to achieve by this, Karen, Zoe, was to match what we're doing in AP, which is to create. So AP has to create 2 dedicated lists, and it's going to be on configuration by day of when you want to, how many days, 1 day, 2 days, 360 days, 9,999 days maximum. When you want to move it from active to archived, and then when it will be deleted completely. Rather than do two lists in ours, we will
Có giới hạn gì về userbook, cái phương pháp nghiên cứu của mình nó sẽ khác hay không? Thì như em bảo đấy là tất cả những cái tính năng mà mình đang sắp xếp trên cái xe của mình mà nó có hệ quả từ việc
Yeah, okay. So the second workflow is the electronic order. So in here, so I combine the list of the Delphic iOS with the electronic order. So the user can filter either they want to see the Delphic iOS or electronic order in the list. So it would be exactly the same like the workflow we have in the workflow 2. The screen will be the same, and the function when the user double click the row to go into the detailed order entry histology form could be the same.
Yeah. What I think we need to do, Zoe, this is good with the workflow. I'll just 2 seconds. For the Netherlands, we may be in a situation because we'll have more sources, right? So the source is good, but we'll have more potentially for the Netherlands. If you scan or click on one, that might need to link to a particular order entry form. So it could be a different order entry form if I went from electronic order to a different order entry form if I selected Delphic LAS. So that's something that we're going to essentially have to work out how we do. Darren.
Yeah, I'm just wondering when you go click on something like here and you go back into the order entry form, what's the benefit of that? What are you trying to do?
Fill in the rest of the details, which is the majority of the time is specimens.
Do we have a view 3 for order entry? If you click on the row.
Sorry, hang on, Zoe. What? Any other? Darren? Any other?
Yeah, no, I'm still, because I'm just thinking how this is working logically. So like you're clicking on it, you're going to enter more information and submit it again.
Yeah.
So potentially you're
But
wanting
this
to
is
just.
this is directly into AP.
Oh, okay. So you're not going back via Delphic.
This is an AP entry form.
Okay, so it's purely AP on the front end.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So it's an update rather than a new. You just need to be clear
Okay,
about some
yes.
of that.
Yeah. So this stuff
Yeah.
is already half pre-populated in AP. So this is the AP. This is the Delphic AP API feeding this, not the list.
Okay.
Delphic list API.
Yeah, that's what's throwing me a little bit. And because electronic orders, I mean, the electronic orders coming in, have they got a rec-no at that stage?
Not necessarily. No.
Okay.
No, they don't.
So when you complete it, it will then get registered into Delphic. So the
Yeah.
workflow's a little bit different.
Yeah, but it's still just like full screen workflow.
Yeah, just at your keys that you're using, because you won't have an other IDs probably order
Yeah, we
ID.
We get that. That's it's a whole different thing we're going through. At the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do have another ID at the moment, and that is being used currently. So if this was Epic over in the Netherlands, that's the Epic ID, but it's a problem because they are going to have other external systems that are going to order through Epic. So we need the Epic ID, we need the other system ID, and then obviously we need the request ID. So at the moment we're an ID short.
But that request ID won't be assigned until you go back
No,
in
no.
and actually, okay.
Yeah, and it's empty. It just says, currently in Delphic AP, it just says 23/.
Yep, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, because you're just trying to combine multiple workflows into one screen, which is not quite flowing, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, but like for Christchurch, right, for example, they register in Delphic Reg, and this is in the Histo department, and they hand it over a wall, and then the person finishes the registration in AP. So we're not really trying to change it. Well, they could if they wanted to. I don't do it, but anyway, you know, it'll be the same. And what they do is they basically scan it in, so you can the scan up the top is going to be key.
Yeah.
They don't usually select; it's a scan.
Yep. Yeah, as long as it doesn't go back into Delphic and re-trigger the interface and all that stuff again.
No. This is
okay.
going into this screen here. This list screen is AP.
Yeah. Okay.
This is not Delphic list.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. Well, it looks pretty consistent with the list view, anyways, especially the panels. So.
Yep. Good. Anything else, Han?
So I think that's it for the design here. I just want to so is there anything else with the information that we display in here? Like I think in the specimen tiles in here.
No, but can you do a couple of things for me? Because just based on Garen's feedback, right? Our top headings, and I know you've just copied these, but we need to make now these product headings correct, right? Because this is not Delphic list order entry. So when it's Delphic list, we need to say Delphic list. When it's Delphic AP, we need to say Delphic.
Yeah.
And that'll make it a bit more clear.
Yeah.
And probably take out the micro and the core form, you know, make sure it is just histo.
When it's AP,
Yeah.
Don't
Focus it.
Don't have the auditing and micro and core form available.
Okay, yeah. So this is for the DAP, and it would not have the core form, the microbiology form, and the auditing. Is that
at the moment? Right? And that's something we have to work out because it is the same product hat, but we're linking to different core systems. Do we want to try and bring that together through that menu, Darren, or you think it's better to keep it completely separate?
You can probably, ideally, if we're going to do that, it should just go back to Delphic. Don't distinguish between the two products. If you're gonna.
But it led to confusion, right? Just then.
Yeah.
So I think we should at the moment. And even what Wendy was saying, development-wise, they're sort of doing it a little bit separate, right? So I think we say it is what it is. But let's maybe bring that up as a discussion on, like, well, you know, any thoughts?
Yeah, I just think if you are presenting it to certain people, they are gonna go, no. You know, especially if they're doing registration, it's like, oh, why we got micro here, and oh, so you're in Delphic Reg, not AP Reg, which is where I thought you were.
No. So let's be really specific. That's
Yeah, sure. So I will remove the archive form and the auditing, right, at the moment.
Yes.
Yeah, at the moment, yeah.
Yeah.
But you could just put in Histo Form 1, Histo Form 2, just to show that when we're showing a histology specialist, that they're not limited to one form, right?
Okay. A cyto versus a histo or something, yeah.
And yeah, Han, can you also think about a design where we're not going to have the second line of those tiles?
Okay. So just the code and the test specimen name.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
What's the purpose of the drag and drop? Is it something they do now?
Yeah. So at the moment in Delta KP, you enter things, and if you wanted to change the first one that you entered, you've got to delete them all to get back to the first one, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So we can just delete anyone in this design, but there is also a requirement that sometimes the pots are labelled, right? So it's pot 1, pot 2, pot 3, and so if they have, entered polyp, appendix 1, oh shit, I've just done that in the wrong order, because that drives the pot material ID request number +1, 2. So it's if they just need to change it again, currently in Delta KP, they're going to delete everything to fix up put it in the right order. So we just want to give them the ability to
So
not
for me,
delete, so they don't have to add it.
yeah. So like if I've got one tissue here and I need to add another tissue, like would I need to delete the tissue and start again?
No, you just add. So let's say
Add a second tissue. Okay.
yeah. So let's say tissue on the actual physical pot, the tissue was 5, and you had a second tissue that was 6, right? You could just add your next tissue and then drag that tissue to become 6.
Okay.
So that's the idea.
And can we change the blocks, or we're not too sure?
How do you mean? No. So that's
gonna be
second
configuration.
line. The second line comes from configuration of that specimen.
Okay.
I was just putting it in, out of interest, but does the person that's doing the registration really care, because they can't change it? They're never going to change it. But I'm going to ask Maastricht tonight.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
And Han, we have moved total specimens and clear all as well. We've got rid of clear all, and total specimens we've moved up the top.
Yeah, but I
Yeah,
think
I'll do that as
because we have the
Yes, but I wonder in
There's slight variations.
in histology, maybe the clear all is good, because we're bringing in that quantity in histo, which is really important, because they do get big things. You don't want to have to put in polyp 25 times. But if you
Yeah, I
do that
think-
wrong, maybe we do probably need clear all in the histology form.
Yeah, because I think the problem we had with clear all was that if you cleared the test but not the specimens, or the specimens and not the
Yeah.
test, it got out of sync.
Yeah, which we don't
So if
clear.
you
in
clear all
histo.
yeah, okay. So if you clear the specimens, the test is still loaded.
Yeah. It's just going to be a specimen.
Yeah,
okay.
And the other one, Han, if you see now, I don't think we need the duplicate order there,
Mm-hmm.
because we're going to leave that to the recents as we've designed. So you can go into your recent, you can hit. I don't know. Again, I can ask that, I suppose. Because the duplicate order would then be a create plus duplicate, wouldn't it? Leave it like that, and I'll show them that tonight as well, and I'll ask them.
Well, the workflow at the moment is you've got to create the order, then you've got the duplicate button to duplicate it.
Yeah. In the recents.
No. So what we've done, there's 2 ways. So that you can go the recent and go back, 3-4 requests and click it and then duplicate it. Or here, you'd create your order, it would go to Delphic, come back, then you've got the duplicate button just to replicate everything.
So what happens if they place a create order and it just goes directly to the next, goes back to the list? I don't have to create order and then press another button.
Yeah, so then I'd have to go resync and then find it and then duplicate it. We're here, like you've created it and you can just click duplicate and it will just actually duplicate everything.
That's actually probably a workflow we're going to have to work through because, where do I get to my duplicate order when I'm using the list?
And the other thing which we currently do is you duplicate all the patient and the order details, but not the specimens.
Yeah, correct. That's
So
what we.
it's- yeah.
No, that's what we wanted.
Yeah, okay.
But I'm just worried about how they're going to get to duplicate, right?
Well, what you've done is you've entered all your stuff, you've clicked submit, and then these are your two options. You just hit duplicate to
Or
replicate what you've just done, or you create new order.
I'm doing receiving.
This is not the receipt, the screen, it's order entry.
Yeah, I know, but the receipt workflow is once I'm, so which is the coming from the Delphic LIS or coming from electronic order. I'm from the list, I scan it, I go into here, fill in the details, press create order, I'm back at my list. Or they can just scan another one into here somehow. And we don't go back to the list, we let them go back to the list when they want to go back to the list. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to figure out if you're receipting or that's what I'm saying is like, what are you trying to do in the screen to actually figure out where you should be going next?
Well, yeah, but that's I guess that's what they do currently in Delphic, right? That's how they work. They work from the list, or they work from the order entry screen. And I guess so. We need to find out what is the interaction of the order entry screen in Delphic AP when they are just entering physical forms and pots, or whether they're doing it from the list. How does it go?
Because if they pick up the form and then scan the next one, you probably want a scan button here.
Yeah. And then you just go back to the list when you need to, and not.
Yeah. You just keep working in this screen, scan next one, bring it up, scan, bring it up, and carry on, which is how we do the receipting in the LIS.
Yes, exactly. So we haven't got to that yet in this order entry form, have we?
No.
But we haven't. We've got this. We've got the space, right? I mean, that.
Oh yeah, it's just a field. You just scan and carry on.
Where would you put it up in the top, like on the list screen up in the top?
I'd probably put it down the bottom, because what you want to do is you want to create the next order. Well, you're actually not creating order because you're actually receipting here.
But even if you are creating an order.
Yeah, but it depends where you've come from. Like if you're actually in order entry, if you click create next order, you're going to load the next patient and start again. But if you're receipting, you actually just want to probably scan the request number or scan the pot or whatever and carry on. You don't want to do orders. You've done orders. That was the previous bench.
You want it to, when you scan it, you want it to open up straight into the order details, don't you?
So you never go back to the order entry screen. You've kind of, all the orders are created. So if you're in receipting, you just want to be scanning and receipting. You don't want to go back and find patients and order details and do tests.
Order details might be a configuration.
Maybe copy to or something.
Like
something's urgent.
I mean, I know for electronic orders, when it's electronic orders, they do fill in details in the entry, like like Medicare number, all that sort of shit, which doesn't necessarily come from the.
Yeah. So that brings in our other workflow is once we've created our order and order entry, everything is read only. So if we're going to come into the screen, we need to figure out what should be editable and what's not, and actually allow some of that stuff as well.
Yep. Okay, so we need to we need to finish this workflow about what happens next. Right, we've finished that create order. where actually there's a couple more steps. I hit the create order button. What happens when I'm in scenario 1? I'm just doing straight order entry. What's my next screen that turns up? And when I'm coming from the list in receiving, what's the next screen once I've created the order?
Okay.
And probably even is, do we need a different label on the button for receiving?
Em nghe nè, là sao lại? Em chưa hiểu lắm.
Yeah, I'd keep the two processes different.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's going to get a little bit confusing.
So it's actually 2 forms, isn't it?
Ideally, yeah.
There's a receiving form and an order entry form.
Yeah.
And yeah, because then the workflow can be different, driven by the form.
And you also probably
Configuration
would have, I mean, when we receive, we're only going to show certain bits of data, and only certain fields are going to be editable as well.
Yeah, AP.
In the Liz.
Yeah, AP. AP no. Let me have a look actually. Yeah, I think all the patient details are so the patient ID. No, the patient ID is editable, but you have to press an edit button to be able to edit patient details.
Okay, so we haven't done
And
any of
then-
that workflow now
All
in
of-
order entry.
Yeah, all request details, so order details are editable, but the patient details you have to press an edit button. It's like an AP.
Are we missing any order details?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
but I'm not so worried about that at the moment. I think we just need to get the design. Yes. Design and workflow, and like the details are just fields, right?
Well, yeah, but,
Caption.
okay.
Okay, so I have a question. So in here, we have order entry specifically for the DAP only, and I think it would have the core form and the histology form, right?
No, just histo.
Just histo, yeah.
Okay.
So
So
histo form 1 and 2, histo form 2. Number
Yeah.
1, yeah.
If you go
two.
back up to workflow 1.
Yeah.
Okay, so this first screen is Delphic LIS order entry. That's correct. Okay. The second screen is Delphic AP order entry.
okay, so the user they will create the order from Delphic iOS core form, and then
Go into the
go
Delphic
into the Delphic AP.
Order entry form. And so that second screen there, that's the one where we want to get rid of core form, micro form, and auditing.
Okay.
And you can just add 2 histo forms just so people see that it's you can have multiples.
Okay, got it.
So screen,
Mhm.
yep, and then down in workflow 2, which is workflow 2 is. Oh no! Oh, sorry, my mistake. What I just said relates to workflow 2. Workflow 1 is just AP. Delphic AP. Both screens are Delphic AP. The second workflow is Delphic LIS, and then
Yeah, got it.
then Delphic AP.
Yeah.
Sorry, my mistake. And then the third workflow first list, the list screen is Delphic AP. Receipting. So yeah, I'll just call it the product Delphic AP rather than list. And the second screen,
Second screen will still be the AP, but the histo form.
Yeah, I keep receipting as a separate
yeah,
process. It's completely separate thing. Auditing's fine because auditing and audit entry go together, but yeah.
So there's the so this screen where you are now should the form name, histology form, should be underneath receipt, not underneath order entry.
Okay.
And order entry can just be collapsed. Oh no, you can just have histology. No, you can have histology order entry because they can have.
Yeah, because they'll create. Yeah,
Yeah,
potentially.
you can still do a manual. You can still do a manual order entry. It's not a receipt.
Do you need histo under receipt though? Because you basically going to call up your list and then drill down. So do you need another form, a sub form under that? Yeah, it's like auditing. You've got your list and you select something from the list, and then that displays on the auditing screen.
Yeah,
We don't have
but do
another
we,
drill down.
But do we want to force them to go to the list first, or we just say, we'll just go straight into the thing and scan your first one?
Yeah, and then from there you can action whatever you want. I don't think we need another entry in the navigator.
No, I'm just saying they could, if they had two entries, list and form, they could just go, I'll just skip the list and I'll just start scanning directly into my form.
Well, you probably need to have. You've already got the search field right on the receipt list.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's your starting point.
Okay, so we just do that. Yeah, so then you don't need the form on the. No, you don't need the form on the receiving, and because that also, you're right, Darren, because if you're going to have a different form linked to a different source, that needs to be driven from the list. Yeah, cool. Well, no, I suppose it's good to say. Let's just start with that for the starting point.
Okay.
So underneath, do we need is receipt just receipt, or does receipt have a list under it, or a collapsible? Well,
No,
when it's one, it's just one. It is what it
It's
is.
just one.
Yeah. So,
Basically, your scans your trigger point.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. So we need on this one. Then Han, we need the what's next after you've completed the receipt. Where and that needs to be probably a couple of options: back to the list, or not going back to the list.
Don't make that a button.
No, well, yeah, but I mean, how is it going to be? So and going back to the list, maybe manual. I can just click back to the list. So via a breadcrumb or by just hit receipt again in the menu. But we have to decide how do you get back to the list? How does and Zoe, we need to find out what the current workflow is in AP, how it works.
Yeah. For
Receipting.
yeah.
Or receiving, yeah.
Yeah. So after finishing the form in the workflow 3, we definitely need to have an option to go back to the list, right? The other function would be defined after Zoe researching the current behavior.
Yeah, so the other one is going to be essentially, well, we'll have a look.
là kiểu một câu hỏi nho nhỏ,
Okay.
không phải là cái câu hỏi nào cũng dễ trả lời.
But do you think that we need to have like some behavior like we have in auditing? Sorry, I just have a lacking. Yeah.
No, no, so
Yeah, so I just ask like, do you think that we need to have an batch option selection like we have in auditing?
no. Because they're always going to do this off something physical. They will have a pot. They'll always have something physical
Okay.
to scan at the start. So yeah, I don't think so. And yeah, so and they're always going to do these one at a time. So I think it doesn't. We don't want it to go to the next in the list because they might not have that in front of them.
And for this scanning option, do you think that we need to have like some button here or some things to trigger that scanning, or the user just scan the barcode?
Yeah, I think that's where we have that search for material ID, request ID, or patient ID. I think that's the right place for the scan. Just our little message will have to be different, but I think that's the right spot.
Okay. Okay, so I think that's it.
I have some things.
Okay.
I'll just, since I'm sharing my screen, if I ever find my mouse, here we go. Just looking at the manage columns button today. For the auditing, we've got the filter is automatically open. So I assume if you click manage columns, we're closing the filter sidebar. Is that correct?
Yeah. So we only have one
So we-
panel opening at a time. So if the user clicking on another button like manage column, it would close the filter panel.
Okay, cool. So the manage columns, like you've got a little drag and drop here. So I assume can we drag between sections, or can we only drag within the section? How is it meant to work?
So so we have two section here. So we have the first section is the properties enable, and the second would be disable. So I think if we allow the user to drag between the two sections, it could change the visible of the properties. So I
But
think
so at the moment though, if you unclick, so like where it says assigned at the moment,
Yeah.
If I would have to unhide that, and then it would appear in the top section, and then I could reorder it, right?
But why can't I just click and drag it? Like, why can't I click the materials and drag it to here to be hidden?
And when you drag it up, then it becomes unhidden.
Yeah, I think that makes sense too.
Yeah, so
It's
why?
just
do
like,
we,
what are we allowing?
so why do we have? Yeah, why is that? Okay, so you're asking the request ID at the moment is in the show in list, but it's hidden in this current view that we're looking at, right?
Yeah,
It's
so
not.
this is the AP one.
Yeah.
It's not.
Those
so
are
we're
all
struggling to
shown.
figure out how this is actually working. So yeah, it's like we've got drag and drop, but we don't say actually how we can drag and drop, what are our roles, what should we allow, because we've got stuff that's compulsory, stuff that's optional.
Yep. So I would say, and Han, jump in if this is what you're thinking. Is the eye just an additional indicator, so it's visual, that it's visible, right? Because why? Yeah, it doesn't really make sense to have material ID in the showing list but hidden, does it?
So the
Or
eye.
is there something?
So the eye here is for turn on and turn off. Imagine it could be the checkbox or the switch. But the drag in here is the primary behavior of the drag in here is for reordering the column. So the drag.
Yep.
So the drag is not really the main action to turn on and turn off, disable or enable the column. So I think
But we've got 3 eyes. We've got a grey eye, a bold eye, and a crossed out eye.
So the
Yeah, so
gray,
these-
light gray ones are just predefined, always shown. Like you can't really change it to hidden.
They're
And these
the
ones you've-
compulsory.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
these ones you've added, and these ones are not added.
Yes.
So, you know, if you want to put a sign there, you've got to click it to enable it, and then move, well, potentially it should move up.
Yeah, but why wouldn't you just go, if I drag a sign up, if I just drag the sign up, that unhides it.
Yep.
Like, I mean, we can
Yeah,
code
but
it
we-
that way.
Yeah, and that's what I'm asking is like, what are our rules? Because we've just said drag and drop, but we actually haven't said how we're going to
So-
drag and drop.
Yeah, so let's do that. If so you can't, the eye is showing you what's happening. You can't click on an eye. If you drag a sign up, it obviously becomes visible, and you put it in an order. If I now want urgency to be hidden, I drag it out.
But we've used the clicking to hide show.
Yeah, but
So,
that
so
doesn't-
at the moment, if you click this, assigned, it becomes enabled, and
Yeah,
it moves
but
up
it-
here.
Yeah, but where's it moving to?
I assume it just moves to the
Your
last
bottom?
entry.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then you can move it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It seems like it's better to have the eye as an indicator. And the way you turn an eye on is drag it up into the show in list section, right?
So the eye wouldn't be a function then, just a showing indicator.
The eye is more like just as an indicator. Yeah, unless there's something we can think of that the eye needs
Yeah.
to do.
Because you need to be able to drag these, just, you know, if I want to somehow put, I don't know, status first, I want to be able to drag status
yeah.
up.
Yeah.
But then,
That's right.
yeah, but I can't drag them down here.
Correct.
So yeah, it's just a matter of what we can and can't drag. So yeah, it's just I want to know the rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we have to have no
Because-
rules to be able to
Yeah.
line it up, right?
Mm,
Yeah, so I, unless anyone's got any objection, I think that's what it should be. Unless you guys have a different idea on the usability.
yeah. So for
I
me,
know I was just going to give it to Han.
so for me, the dragging is the main purpose of the dragging in here is for reordering the column in the table. It's not really for hiding the columns. So back to the main purpose of this managed column is would only be the hide or unhide the column. So if we want to make it like more easy, we can just remove the section, because the section in here is just for the user to better see the difference between the hiding or enable the of the column. It's not really needed to have two different section.
But it is very good, right? Because if I want to see the order of my show in list, I don't want to have that mixed with a whole lot of grayed out eyes.
Yeah.
So it's actually really nice, that split, because I can now see the exact order of my list.
So do you
I
guys?
mean, the other.
Mm.
Yeah, I was just thinking about the add filter. It's very similar, isn't it? Like, you know, everything that's not there, we're adding. Do we need to do something like that?
Yeah, we just figured that there was yeah, only so yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I think I can share an example from Notion, which I take the ID from. Let me share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, so in here I have the function property visibility. So it would be the same. So if I click on the eye, it would move the item from the hidden in table to shown in table.
yeah.
Like this. It would show at the last of the section shown in order.
Yeah.
And user can drag and drop to like this.
So they can do both.
Yeah.
So can they drag status up into the showing table? Like go down the bottom.
Yeah.
Can you drag one up?
Yeah.
Okay, so it does both. So both ways.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, let's do that.
Okay, cool. I've got more questions. Yes, I do.
Okay.
So to remove, we're just going to click the eye or drag it down, which is fine. So the session, the manage column stuff that we're doing, that's for that session, right? It's not stored against the user.
Yeah.
I like these questions.
Yeah. There's a whole lot of things that we still need to, I think, work that out. Like, because I'm not sure how we're going to save them against the user yet, because we're not having users in the UI, right? It's just.
Well, we've got a logged on user and all that stuff. And you've got to have the users to do save filters, because they're user based, they're not system based.
Unless they are system based, right? Yeah. What did we end up doing with auto entry? We haven't. No, we haven't.
We've made them user based for auditing.
For auditing, that's what I mean. So they are user based.
Yes, the save filters are user based. So I'm thinking you'd have to then do the same for manage columns, but
yes, yeah, exactly.
It's not just for the session. In other words, you log out, they're gone. You got to reset them next time you go back in again.
No, we want them as you were.
Yeah, so
User.
when you come back on as that user, you get them again. Okay, that's all right. That makes more sense. So fine. Okay, and single click. Yep. Okay, so we need to figure out the drag and drop rules a little bit more. Okay, no, that's cool. The priorities as well. Obviously, we were talking about the audit and trying to keep things consistent between pages. And Han, you sent me that approach, which I forwarded on to Zoe and Colin. For the audit, are you just going to go through audit entry in general, or are you just going to look at the stuff that I've highlighted? How are you going to approach it?
Yeah, so I just sent you an email about the priorities that I think we want to I would think we should to approach. So let me go back to that list that I recommend. Yeah, yeah.
There you go. Yeah, so this was
Yeah.
P1, P2, and P3. Because, I mean, Colin, how much time do we want to... Obviously, we've got the AP order entry / receipting. I still need a few designs corrected and auditing, and I'm waiting for the add patient errors.
Mhm.
Plus, there's obviously this. Do we want to start slicing and dicing some of the time?
Is that stuff for Han to do?
Yeah.
See what's the most important, Darren. I think probably at this stage is we've got to get the pilot finished, right?
Yes. So I don't need the add patient for the pilot, but I do need it for MMP, and I'll need the export screens and auditing for MMP as well. And then obviously the auditing or the inconsistent UI, but I also don't want to wait till MMP's finished and then go back and do UI changes.
Yeah. Okay, so if we're all good from a design perspective, I think then we've got to understand what those inconsistencies are, so we can then make some decisions on whether we fix them before MMP or after MMP.
Yeah. So do you want Han to do an audit on order entry and dashboard now to figure out our inconsistencies, and then we'll prioritize them?
Yeah, okay, so who's waiting on designs for coding?
Sorry, who's waiting on for designs for what?
Actually, development.
Oh, so I need an add patient. Long and Wendy are waiting on an error, where the error message is going to be. And I also need the design for the export function in auditing. So they're the two designs I'm waiting on.
So I think they probably need to take priority.
And then
We can come back. Zoe, what from AP, what do we wait? Is there any designs we're waiting on?
I just want to confirm a few thoughts on the search result, and we probably need a quick design on like the search results are highlighted, the exact match is highlighted after searching, if search is considered as a top priority for drill down.
You can make that decision actually. So, I guess Han, let's look at all those topics and go, what's possible. Definitely Darren's ones first. Then we need to understand your one, Zoe, so we can decide if we need to do it again.
So
Okay. And then we can balance between the audit.
So I think for me, I can resolve the remaining tasks for Darren and Zoe in this week, along with these P1 priorities here.
Okay. All right. That sounds right, Darren. Zoe?
yeah, my only concern is that these are just the things that I've picked up. It would be good to audit the product, not just rely on what I've done or what I've seen, because there might be some stuff that I haven't seen. So it just would be quite nice to have a good audit on what we've done in general.
Yeah, complete.
Yeah. And then compare it to what AP's coming through, because I know Amnan is still developing and things like that, where order entry for us is virtually, it probably just needs fine tuning.
But consider that if I go into deep dive auditing, it could be taking like 1 day of checking the current developing. So do you think that I should like doing these remaining tasks from you and Zoe and just this P1 item for
No,
item
so-
in here
No,
first?
I think so complete the task, and then I think use this P1, P2 as a guide of what Darren has found, but we need to do the complete audit.
Yeah, we should do that. But when do you think that we should do that? Like in this week or another time?
You know, if the audit doesn't start until next week, I don't think that's a problem, do you, Darren?
No, just I don't want to kind of push the MMP out the door and then turn around and change it all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So that
Um,
so next week is fine.
Okay.
That gives you more time to do it thoroughly. That's all good.
So I would do the remaining task and these urgent item that Darren found out first.
I also have
I
one more
think
question.
Yeah.
You go, Darren. You finish.
No. I think I've tagged you in on the add patient. Just I
Yeah.
want the screen and all that. So
Yeah.
go, Colin.
Can you just bring up the screen with managed columns and filters in?
In AP.
Oh, it doesn't matter. I don't care where. Yeah, AP, I guess, because that's what the managed columns is. So.
It's very similar.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Did you want to go? Yeah.
No, this is fine. I have a question, right? What this screen is missing at the moment is our right-hand side little skinny menu that we have in the order entry screen where you can get to the recents,
Scratch pad and all that.
Yeah.
scratch pad. Yeah. So, question I have is why would we put manage columns and even filter? And I know we were putting the number in. We did think about putting the number in the filter in the past and stuff. Why would we put them up there and not in the side little skinny column?
Yeah, because these manage column and filter is related to the table. So these the skinny sidebar menu is for additional tools and function that we can do in additional when we do the main task. So you can see that if I put the buttons in the main screen, request image here or the manage column or the filter, it would be like primary or secondary action in the screen. But it would not be for the scratch part and recent order. It's just additional function.
Okay. Is that the way the Confluence works? Is it the same concept? Because they just have the floating sidebar, right?
Yeah.
The Confluence have floating buttons at the bottom.
Yeah.
But I think considering the main user of us is not really young people, so we need to have like a premium place on the screen for them to easily see the function.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay.
Because I think when the scratch pad's open, the filter's closed.
Yep.
But I suppose when we're in this mode here, yeah, so that's all just going to move.
That's a bit different, yeah, because that's not actually.
Yeah, because that's kind of like a page within a page. yeah. So I mean, we're only going to have one filter open at a time. So it'll either be the filter, the manage columns, or the scratch pad.
It does seem if you only. You could argue the recent orders relates to the screen. It's not primary.
True.
Are we gonna end up with a little sidebar with scratch pad in it and nothing else?
You
So-
could say because scratch pad's going to relate to the order that you're doing as well.
Yeah, but
It's gonna relate.
it's not really the primary flow primary function in here. So user will less likely to open these. So I put them as I put them as the sidebar, not really put on the main screen.
Look, manage columns we very rarely use. They'll do it once and they'll use it once in a blue moon. The filter button, again, sometimes. So I would say that they all have sort of equal priority for me, like scratch pad, manage columns, export probably a little bit different. I'm not sure that they have any more priority over each other.
So if we put into the skinny sidebar like in Scratchpad, if we put the manage column there, would you expect after clicking you will see another window doing the
That's
manage column
side-
functions?
No, sidebar. Just open the sidebar.
Yeah, so the sidebar opens. I'll just try and load else. Figma is super fast.
Is it like the panel that we currently use?
Yeah, so you kind of click it and this very similar panel that we're currently using will just display. You can do stuff and then just save cancel. So you don't
I guess
ever have one panel open, like filters
Yeah.
or scratch pad or manage columns.
Okay. I guess the good thing about manage column as a panel and filter as a panel is that it reflects to the list directly. It changes the content, and after clicking view results, the user sees the different like sorting and different filters directly on the list.
But scratch pad here relates to John Doe.
Yeah.
So it relates directly to the screen as well.
Where your recent is a list of everything that you've done since you've logged on. That's something to look at, I suppose, to see.
Yeah, I think we just over a filter. The filter, like manage columns is a really important function, right, in the product, but it's not something people are going to do very often. It's set it and forget it. It's just that we don't want to have to necessarily make them go back to a configuration screen to add the columns they want in, right? It's just sort it out, do whatever you want. Particularly if you're going to export that out into an Excel. So that's why I was just asking, is it in the right place? Something to think about. We don't necessarily think to decide right now, but just we'll have to decide pretty soon. But
put the pressure on Colin.
Well, yeah. I mean, these are the things to discuss, right? I mean, it's we fine tune as we go and just make sure that we're all agreeing that this still is the right design as we come up with new things. So if it's right and we've challenged it, then good, because we know then it definitely is right.
Yeah, so about this kind of approach, I think we can have like doing like two version, like putting the manage column button into the screen like we have for now, and another option is we put them into the sidebar and show them to the customer so that they can tell us like what do you think about they think about two approach. Yeah, so I think that kind of another approach that can help us to making the decision here.
Yeah, okay, sounds good. That was all for me.
Yep, nothing else from me.
Okay. Yeah, so I can. This is for me too. Yeah.
Okay, thanks guys.
Yes.
Thank you.
Colin, can you stay on the line
Yeah,
for a quick chat?
Yeah, and
Okay,
Han,
cool.
just so you know, Friday is a public holiday in New Zealand.
Oh, so this week.
Oh, yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this week. Friday is a public holiday.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay.
And you've got Chinese New Year, or the equivalent of Chinese New Year coming up, haven't you? Because you got a whole week off in Vietnam, I think.
Yeah. That would be
Relax.
the 2 weeks later. Yeah. 2 weeks.
2 weeks later.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Okay. Cool.
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Mày và mẹ
Nó
đi
không phải là Chinese New Year.
mẹ đi. Tao không muốn.
How do you know New Year?
Tao không muốn discuss điều đấy ở đây.